in a theonomy or a theocracy, there will be zealots. There will be people who are like
Sure.
hunting for that and taking advantage of the cruelness of the laws, and they'd be kind of headhunters for people who do that.
I don't know that I would say the cruelness of the laws.
That's what the Pharisees were, though, dude. That's what the
No, no, no,
Pharisees
no, no,
were.
no. You're misinterpreting what I'm saying, I think. I don't think the laws themselves are cruel. Who am I to say that God's law is cruel?
No,
Um, I think that
I'm
what you're
saying
saying,
the
though,
people who
hold on.
use it
I
as a
think that
tool.
right, what you're saying is that people could be cruel in how they go about treating people the way that they treated Jesus, trying to trap him and trick him and things
Right,
like that, right?
right.
And that's a whole different issue.
I think
How
it's the same issue. I think it's the same. Like power corrupts absolutely. So if you have, so Iran, for an example, they have, they literally have people who are just in the streets who are ready to beat a woman to a pulp if she doesn't wear her hijab. So
Hmm.
I mean that's in a theocracy state,
right, but
and they literally are hunting people
but
down.
if a man ran up to a woman and tore hers off, how would they treat that?
The same. I
Like
mean, that guy would
I
be
would
in
imagine.
trouble as well.
Right. And so that's what I'm saying. If you know that certain activity is going on in someone's bedroom and you go up to their window and you're like this in their window, you're on their property when you shouldn't be, right? So like
Hmm.
there's ways of handling this stuff reasonably.
Why don't we just leave it up to God and not tell people what to do, though?
Then why do we punish murderers?
You have a very other than murder,
Hmm.
other than murder, have something else. What like I understand that murder would be the exception to my rule, but but other than that, just letting
Theft?
people, huh?
Theft? Are you going to
Well,
not punish anything? Like where that's why I asked earlier, what's your line? Where do you draw the line?
my line. So my line is fairly simple. It's basically it's the NAP, the non-aggression principle. Okay, like someone living an immoral, unchristian life doesn't affect me. Okay, it doesn't affect my life. It doesn't affect my choices. I'm a big boy. I can either look away from that or I can dwell on that.
You're an
Or I
adult.
can choose my children to be taught by crazy people in public schools, or I can homeschool. You know, I can allow my wife to go to the nightclub with her girlfriends and have a good girls' night, or I can say, no, I don't think that's appropriate. You need to do something else. Maybe hang out with me tonight. There's I truly do believe the non-aggression principle is the best way to live your life. So, like, if someone, it's kind of like do unto others as you have them do unto me, or do unto others as have them do unto you. So, I get your point that no sin is greater or lesser than another, but then I don't see God striking people dead with lightning bolts for being gay or lesbian or
Does he
for
do
being
that
a
to
jerk.
murderers?
Huh?
Does he do that to murderers? Does he do that to thieves? Does he do that to cheats, fraudsters? Does he do it to anybody?
No, no, he doesn't.
Right. So what that's a straw man.
I agree. It is a straw man. I'm just saying I would prefer to live by the nap, where if you're not affecting my life, it's not much. It's not up to me. At the end of the day, it's up to God. Like you will meet your maker and you will stand there in judgment. I don't think a government should stand there in judgment unless you're hurting someone, unless you're physically, property wise affecting someone else.
Yeah, I agree with Josh. And even if I agreed with everything the government was carrying out, I feel like things can turn on a dime. And like, what if the theonomy becomes the Iranian theonomy overnight because of some kind of power shift, and then you have
Well, what happened to the Pharisees, Danny? I mean, what's what the Pharisees were?
right, right. So
Yeah. I
it's a
mean
slippery slope, is my point. Yeah.
we live in a fallen world, right?
Right. Which is why I was saying Yes, the straw man that you pointed on me, you're completely correct. It's a straw man. You are correct. Principally, Adam, you are correct. But in the real world, and I believe living by the non-aggression principle is something that is far more applicable to real life than trying to our country is 350 million people. Okay, just Lancaster County, okay, trying to make Lancaster a theonomy county. The amount of force and uncomfortable force that would be to the majority of people isn't logical.
So I think I would disagree because I think you're trying to imagine a world in which we snap our fingers and that happens. The question of how do we get there is different than where should we be going, right?
Hmm.
Yeah,
That's a fair
yeah,
point. Yeah.
yeah,
So I'm more
absolutely.
concerned about direction than the timing of getting to the destination. I'm more concerned with the destination.
Well, brother, you should move your destination to a different county.
Where do you
Yeah.
suggest?
Not Lancaster. It's literally it's turning purple as we speak. Like,
Oh yeah,
Well, that's probably a good segue into
that is a good
the
segue.
crux of what the show is supposed to be out. So, welcome to Lancaster, everyone. Lanc Cast. Danny and Josh here, and we have Adam Miller, who is a fan of the show and also a Reformed Christian, and we were just having a great discussion. What else did we say about you? Yeah, you're libertarian leaning,
Yeah.
and we had a good discussion about theonomy and right the principle of where should we be going versus how we should get there. And as Josh just pointed out, yeah, it doesn't seem like we're heading in the direction that you would want us
no.
to under that theonomy. Yeah,
How are
we're not.
things looking?
I mean, this county's heading blue.
Oh,
I'm just
man.
gonna be blunt. Like that's what I have observed, and maybe I'm not even supposed to say that as a committee person. Like,
Well,
it is a purple county, but we've lost ground, and I feel like we may have lost more ground tonight. But I live in a heavily blue district, so I can only observe what I've seen so far, and I can't account for all the other results around the county yet. It's only what
yeah,
9:30.
I don't even know if I can. I'm trying to find Lancaster County just straight up election results. I don't think we're gonna get it until tomorrow,
Yeah.
just for like the locality election results. But I'm looking at
Do we have to wait for those middle of the night drops
Well, did you? Well, we could talk
Yeah.
about Chester County. Did you guys see what happened in Chester County?
I haven't kept
today?
track of any
Yeah.
news outside of
I saw what
Lancaster.
happened in Jersey.
Okay.
Oh,
Well,
well,
in Chester,
well, yeah.
wait, was that Chester County, New Jersey, or was that Chester County,
Are you talking about the bomb
Pennsylvania?
threats?
Oh, no, not the bomb threats. No,
Yeah, that was
Chester
Jersey.
County,
That's all I'm aware of.
Pennsylvania. They messed up the voter rolls.
Oh, I read something about that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so like anyone who's registered libertarian,
Or independent.
independent, Green Party, Constitution
I did
Party,
see
they
that.
they had to do provisional ballots. Thought that
Yeah.
was whack.
I might be
Thought
mixing
that
up my
was
stories, but I heard in one of the counties they were turning people away or something.
Yes, that
Maybe.
was Chester.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that's a big deal. That's that shouldn't be
So
happening.
so every single race that the media was trying to tell Republicans that we had a shot in,
hmm
I mean, Sears got clobbered. Winsome Sears got
Really?
destroyed.
No, that's
Yeah,
too bad.
she got destroyed.
Yeah.
56 to 43.
Oh, yeah. That's not too good.
Um, the governor of New Jersey, Schiaparelli, got crushed 57-42. And I've been watching the New York race a lot because
hmm
I truly am interested, like, how much the Republican was gonna get in that race. He's sitting at almost 8% of the vote
Ooh.
with with 60% with 60% in. But so Cuomo is running as an independent, Andrew Cuomo, the
Yeah.
ex-governor. So
Right.
he's got 41.6. Mamdani has 49.6.
Oh, Manami's going to win easily, I think.
Well, he's gonna. Well, okay, so 60% of it is in. Okay,
Hmm.
but listen, if that Republican would have dropped out, like Trump wanted him to,
Hmm.
Andrew Cuomo might have.
Might be
It would be
winning.
50-50. It would be 50-50 right now if that Republican guy would have dropped out.
So which one
That's
do you think is better in the short term and long term there?
ooh. Do you want me to go nihilism or do you want me to go like PBD podcast? The future is bright. I mean,
I mean, I'm a big fan of the future's bright, but
okay.
go
Well,
where you want to go.
I'll go where I want to go. I want to see Mamdani win, and
I do too.
I want to see New York burn to the ground. Is what I want to see. All right. I want to see free buses that go faster. All right. I want to see free restaurants. I want to see it for a total of 2 months. And then I want to see just mass implosion. And then hopefully no one will ever again try to do communism in the birthplace of American capitalism again.
So that's my gut reaction too, except no matter how many times these things get tried, they always get tried again. It's not going to be, even if he has a spectacular failure, people aren't going to permanently learn from it, right? So people are just going to get more crushed in the short term for nothing significantly different in the long term. That's the way I see it.
Yeah. What do you think, Danny?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's an interesting experiment. I mean, I'm glad I'm not a guinea pig in it, but if New York City people choose this, then let them choose it and let's all observe what happened. It's a learning experience for the rest of the country. They're doing us a
Right.
service
Right.
by electing this guy and showing us what happens. Now, if some people obviously are not going to pay attention and are going to rose color it, like whatever he does, they're going to, oh yeah, look how much life is better. People see what they want to see, and some people won't
Right.
learn from it. But I think people who really are paying attention will learn from it, and it'll be a useful experiment. That's my take.
That
And if anyone's terrified of what's going to happen, then they can move out of the city too. I mean,
and
it's
they
not that
will.
hard.
And they will, by
Yeah.
the way. They will
Yep.
move out of the city. I think
Yeah.
that's the coolest thing about America is
Hmm.
that you literally have 50 different little countries trying 50 different little things. And then
Yes.
inside those countries, you have these unique city states where they pretty much govern themselves because they're so big. And you
Yep.
can see so many different experiments going on at
Right.
once. And I do love that about America, but
Absolutely. I
I
think it's
think
interesting.
I
Yeah.
think it's gonna I think it's gonna be 2 months of hooray and then
And to be honest, I had
it's
a
gonna be
problem
done.
with Cuomo beating anyone. Like the guy who was like a major COVID lockdown governor, and like just he should not be rewarded in any way. I don't care who he's running against. So that does bias my opinion a little bit, but what I say about the experiment still stands. So,
I'm
Well, do you
surprised that wasn't the end of his like public life.
right. Well, that's the thing. We shouldn't normalize that kind of governance. It's just wrong. Uh,
do you guys know the story behind this Curtis Swilla, the Republican?
Mm,
I don't know
I don't
anything
know what
So
you're
about
referring to.
okay, so he's the Republican that's running for the mayor
Yeah,
of New York City. He wears that red beret hat. So
yeah.
he was part of a biker gang before the Rudy Giuliani days. So
it.
Huh.
they were like the law enforcement in the parts of New York that were too bad for the police to go to
Oh
before
wow.
Giuliani was mayor. Like that's why he is the way he is.
Huh.
I just thought that was really cool and interesting, you know.
Has he talked a lot about that? I haven't followed the.
Yeah, I've been really interested in the whole New York City thing because I just want to know
Hmm.
like I, I I find New York to be compellingly interesting no matter what it does,
Yeah.
because like when people think of America, they probably don't think of the rolling plains or anything like that. They think of the Big Apple, So like, I think, New York is basically the mural of America, for better or worse.
Yeah.
Like
I'm
like
glad.
like New York City is our Mona Lisa,
Mm.
for the rest of the world. And right now it looks like a bunch of crap sandwiches.
Well,
Like,
it's interesting you brought up Giuliani because I mean I talk about this a lot. Isn't it interesting that 25 years ago he was the Republican mayor of New York City? Maybe the last. I'd have to double check this. He might have been the last Republican mayor of a big city, and ever since then, like a Republican can't be mayor of a city. I'd have to double check, but I can't think of any big city where the Republicans are in power. It's all Democrat, and we've talked
well,
about like why is that? Like, but now,
you had Arnold
yeah,
Schwarzenegger as a Republican of mayor or governor of
governor of
California.
California, yeah,
I mean,
and
that was
look
a
where they are
shock.
now. It
That was
was,
a
yeah,
shock.
that's a good point. But is it like a trend where like we would? I can't imagine us going back to that. I mean, I'd like. I don't want it to be true, but I don't know if can New York City ever go back to Republican? Can
Well,
California ever have a Republican governor again?
Do you
I don't
think
I
know.
think
any big city
California
can?
will.
What's that?
So at 11 o'clock tonight, we'll get our first returns for the Prop 50 for congressional
Hmm.
redistricting in California.
So, yeah, that's a significant vote.
I
Why
mean,
do you
it's
think
not
it is
that
that
significant.
cities go Democrat and stay that way?
Yeah, we've talked about that. That's a great question. I I don't know. It's kind of like you can't put the toothpaste back in the cap, or however the expression is, back into the tube. It's I feel like people just in the big cities where it's more populated just have gotten used to the idea of, well, you know, the Democrats are the ones who are going to spend more money to take care of us, and the Republicans are greedy free market capitalists. It's just that simple. It's been hammered home into people's minds for decades and decades, and now they can't go back to clearly thinking about it. But I don't know. That's the best explanation I have, or that and like illegal immigration. Like I don't know. It's a
I
great
would think it
question.
comes down to more issues of the commons, because when you pack a lot of people in a small area,
Hmm.
you have people concerned more with what other people are doing. And
Okay.
Democrat policies generally encroach on people's lives more, which is what you need to, and I say need, but
Mm.
that's what you need in order to govern more people in a small area to keep people like you're not going to
Yeah.
go out into the middle of the country and have a noise ordinance, right?
Right.
Um, why? Because no one's around to hear it. But if you're
Right.
blasting your music or playing your drums at 2 in the morning in the middle of a city, your neighbors are all going to hear that,
That
right?
that
You've
might be
got
the best explanation I've heard. Yeah. Yeah. That makes
you've
sense.
got issues with parking, for example, right? You've got bikes riding around everywhere, people walking around everywhere, cars, taxis, buses. You've got so much more in a smaller area that you just need more rules. And
Right.
it makes sense that people want to live closer to each other for commerce and community and things like that. But I feel like the cities that we have, I mean, the ones that we're talking about, New York
Hmm.
City, San Francisco, LA, all these things, there's so much the density is so high that you just need more authority, more power
Hmm.
exercised on people in order to keep order.
Yeah, and also it makes people anxious. The more people that live around you, the more anxious you feel, and the more you think you need protected by something bigger than your family, too. And
But
Danny and I have talked about this several times.
yet they won't let you protect yourself. Where are the gun
Right,
laws the harshest? They're in
right,
cities where you need them the most for that protection.
right.
There's more cops, but how long till they get there?
Exactly. But it's just so hopefully my wife never listens to this podcast, but so we lived in Mount Joy and we lived off 772, which is a super busy road leading into like Main Street. And we had 3 little kids, then we had 4 little kids, and it was like my wife's anxiety when we lived in Mount Joy was becoming crippling for her. It was bad. Like it was really starting to cripple her. It was I
Mm.
hated seeing it. It was terrible. And I truly believe that now that we moved out here, we've been here for since January, she is like completely different. Like it has just
Mm.
erased her stress, taken away her anxiety. It's like freed her, and it's freed the kids too. Like it's been life changing for us. And I truly, truly believe that like when you live close to people, even if you're not that close to people, you just something mental happens to your brain when you live that close to so many other people.
Yeah.
What what's the difference in community for you guys like between where you were and where you're at now?
Um,
Because you have less density of people,
yes. Yeah.
but what's the difference in I think of relationships in terms of like depth or breadth and depth.
Right.
Um,
I talk to my 2 neighbors, frequently. Their kid comes over, and I talk to our older neighbors, and we talk. We don't like hang out for beers or any or drink or
sure.
anything, or drink. I'm not a drunk, but we don't go out for a drink here and there or anything like that. I would say like the most annoying thing about living in Lancaster County, my first 10 years living away from my home state, was the fake kindness that people would
Mm.
show you. I hated that. I hated the fake kindness because I'm just like, look, I'm looking for a friendship. Are you in? Are you out? And they can never say they're out because they want to be nice. And I'm just like, I'm not looking like, look, I don't waste my time. So it got really frustrating for my wife and I because like we think we were building a friendship with someone, and then
Hmm.
all of a sudden, boom, like something, it was over. So like fake friendships, they were great when they were there, like um, and like even churches in Lancaster for me, it was hard to connect with people because I could tell they were being nice, but it's not like they were interested in letting me in their club,
Mm,
you know. So out here, we kind of like we. I would say like I would help them if they needed food or that they would tell me if they needed food. They've actually said they needed food before, and we gave them food because they needed it. Um, like I feel like we're building something out here where if someone has a problem, your neighbors come and help you.
mm.
So I really, really appreciate that, and
Mm.
it's been so much more like how it was when I was growing up in the Midwest. That's for sure.
So instead of
So,
looking to government for solutions, you're looking to your own local community for solutions.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Like my neighbor told me like we hadn't even bought the house yet. And we came back for a second look and he's like, just so you know, I mean, if there's any problems out here, we don't call the cops. I was just like, oh, okay. Like I'm like, I'm all right with that. I'm okay with that. So yeah. And it was actually really
cool.
cool. Tax collection season started a few months back. And like we were just driving around the neighborhood, which it's not really a neighborhood, but like there's houses sparsely spread out, and like half of us in the area, had the sheriff had to put like you owe tax money for your land, and you must pay within this time or it'll go up for auction. So it was like, so I was like, okay, so all these people hate paying taxes. I love it. Like they were all like delinquent on their taxes. They're like, we'll pay it later when we need to. People like that. I see you showing your shirt when you were stretching. So yeah,
Still
so that's my
applicable.
personal experience. And when I said you should try your theonomy in a better area, um, don't bring it to Perry because I don't want it here. No offense. I'm building something else out here, okay? You don't have me sold yet. Maybe if you sell me on it, I'll let you come here. I don't want a John Brown people over here, okay? I don't need a new John Brown.
What I'm trying to think, what is that term, like parallel something, like a
Parallel
parallel?
economy? Yo,
Yeah, parallel
yo,
economy.
yo!
That
I'm
was the,
actually meeting
that's what you made
with
me think of.
another Christian family that we do homesteading with. We do co-op with out here,
Mm-hmm.
and they have a homestead, and we're actually working on. We're gonna meet in a week, and we're gonna start a parallel economy with our
Wow.
homesteads.
No
Yeah,
kidding.
I'm super excited. He's like a crazy Christian dude, really good dude, crazy libertarian too. Like when I mentioned the nap in our first conversation, he
Yeah.
just went bing, like just
Let's
started smiling.
go.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah, it
Can
was
you
cool.
explain to our listeners what a parallel economy is in a nutshell?
Oh yeah, so a parallel economy would be instead of going where everyone else goes for whatever products you have, you go to a local source that the owner of that local source believes in what you believe, and you basically pay the price that they're asking, even if it's more, because you believe that the parallel economy is better for your family and their family. Like that's like the easiest way I can explain it.
Yeah.
Like instead of going out and buying milk from the grocery store, you go to your neighbor down the road and you buy their milk from their dairy cow, and
Mm-hmm.
you either pay them in actual cash, which it needs to be cash, or you pay them in goods, commodities. So we're talking about getting a cow together, and he doesn't have the land to homestead, but I do. So we were talking about going in half on a dairy cow. So I'll have the milk. He'll supply uh, hay,
Mm-hmm.
food basically for the cow, and we'll give him the equal amount of milk or dairy products that we get from the cow. So that would be a very narrow-minded local parallel economy. I mean, it can be bigger if you want it to be.
Right. Right. Yeah,
Like, it
that
could be
sounds awesome.
blockchain too. Yeah,
Yeah, that's
it can be
awesome.
Bitcoin. So yeah, we might be getting a
Bitcoin
cow,
tank.
Danny.
What's
Bitcoin's
that?
down at 100,000 today.
It is.
It dipped below 100,000 today.
Maybe it's a good
That's
time
only
to buy
because
one.
it's election. Oh, by the way,
Yeah.
speaking of election, do you guys remember 4 years ago when Youngkin won in Virginia?
Hmm.
Yes.
Okay,
Yep.
you do remember Loudon County and Fairfax,
Hmm.
how they went red?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, listen, this is the results so far from those two counties. I was looking at it when you guys were talking earlier. All right, Loudoun County for governor, 64% went to the Democrat
Mm-hmm.
in Loudoun County. So that was the county where the boy raped the girl. The boy was wearing a dress. He
Mm-hmm.
went to the women's room, raped her. They sent him to a different school and he did it again. All
Hmm.
right. Now,
Yeah.
right next to that county, just south, is Fairfax, which is where Richmond is, right?
Yep. No, no, no. Richmond's further down. I grew up in Fairfax County. I went to Fairfax
Okay,
County
well,
Public Schools.
Fairfax, dude, Fairfax. I'm pretty sure it went red last 4 years ago, if I remember
They probably
right.
did.
It went red.
Yeah.
It's 73% Democrat for the governor.
Oh
I'm
my
not surprised.
word.
You know what? I have a lot to say about Fairfax County. As someone, when I was going to school there in the 80s and early 90s, it was more conservative, probably probably more Republican, and that's totally flipped. I have a friend who works down in that school system. You know what the school boards are now? 9-0 Democrat. It's like the culture has totally shifted over the last 40 years, and yeah, it's the only reason we had success 4 years ago was because of COVID, because the Democratic policies were so insane. We had success here too in the township, Manheim Township. We swept the commissioner race, but I honestly don't see that happening today.
Oh
I
yeah,
mean, yeah,
what happened in Manheim Township for your supervisors?
I don't know yet. I haven't gotten the result. I mean, maybe it's up
For
there,
your
but
township though, don't they have did your committee people communicate amongst each other? Don't you guys have a group chat?
we don't communicate that well. I probably shouldn't
Oh,
say that.
okay,
I'm
okay.
saying that I think, yeah, I just don't see it. Yeah, I think we're losing the township. I think it's
Oh, I think
going to
you've
go
already
badly.
lost it, bro.
Yeah,
It's
but I mean, I don't understand it other than the same phenomenon we were just talking about. Like it's gotten more dense and more city-like. That's the only explanation. And it's
yeah.
like, if I think more further on the Giuliani phenomenon, I mean, it's incredible what he did to that city. Like, I remember going there and like, because I moved up to Connecticut in '96 after I graduated college, and I remember taking a trip there, maybe '97, and I met my college roommate there. The guy got mugged. It was like super dangerous where we were. So then I moved there permanently. Well, not permanent, but I lived there for like 4 years, starting in '99. And in those 2 years, what a contrast! It was like the city was completely safe, and he'd like cleaned up the streets, gotten rid of so much crime, and you could basically walk anywhere in Manhattan and not worry about being mugged. And I just could. I don't know what he did in those 2 years because I was still living in Connecticut. But this is why he was so popular as a
Oh,
mayor.
I could tell you what he did, brother. You looked at someone wrong. They literally like put you up against a wall and frisked you.
Yeah,
Like
right.
I
you
remember
just
hearing about
coughed.
all
You would
that
just
and all.
cough in New York City and they'd frisk you. I
Yeah,
mean, it was not. Look,
and he took a
as a
lot of heat
libertarian,
about
that's
that.
bad.
Yeah.
I would say that's bad.
Mhm.
But it was effective.
It was effective, and you could even call it authoritarian. But look, the New York City residents voted for that. Can you imagine them voting for something like that? Well, they'll vote for authoritarian Democrats, but somehow the Republicans are the boogeyman now with our kings that they protest. It's so ridiculous. But I think during COVID, they went a little bit too far, and we gained some ground back because there was
A
no
little too far.
well, a little
Oh,
too far that even they couldn't be fooled by it. So, we gained some ground back because like how can you mask the fact mask I'm using that, no pun intended, but you couldn't mask the fact that these policies were ridiculous and shutting down businesses and everything. Yeah, people didn't like that. It was very unpopular. So it's a shame that I always like to bring up the pandemic policies. I was like, look, this is our winning card. Nobody in the committee listens to me about that. They want to go into these other issues, but I feel like we need to keep reminding people about it.
I'm never gonna get over that.
Me too.
Like unless we get apologies and change,
Right.
I'm never letting that go.
Thank you.
Well,
Same
well,
here.
here's the thing. Here's the thing. Also, we're gonna figure out real quick tonight. We'll probably figure out tonight whether or not the people of Pennsylvania have gotten over the COVID lockdowns. I mean, with the Supreme Court retentions, we will see
Mhm.
whether or not Pennsylvanians as a whole have forgiven those justices for what they did.
I don't know that it's gonna be necessarily an accurate reflection of that.
Oh my gosh.
Uh-oh. Did you pull up some bad numbers? Does it
As
say they're
far as I
retained?
know, as far as I can see, like 55% of the votes are in.
Mm-hmm.
Goddard, all three of them are yeses.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh my
that's what I was
gosh.
afraid of.
But how many people though do you think have a clue what that was?
What
Guys,
retention?
Lancaster is blue. Lancaster is blue on that vote.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. We've lost Lancaster.
Okay. Yeah, I'm shocked though. It's not even a light blue. It's like the mid. Like there's three colors of blue. There's
Yeah.
light blue, medium blue, and dark blue. Lancaster is medium blue
Are you talking about on those judge
on the
votes or
Supreme Court
whatever?
retentions. On
Yeah.
the Supreme Court retentions.
How
Yeah.
many how many people do you think knew what they were voting for though? Retention just
A lot. It was a campaign.
We had a major campaign. We sent out
It
a
was a
lot of
major
mailers.
campaign to get
Yeah.
them for everyone to vote no.
I I know that I'm like in the politics and culture world a lot. So I know that my knowledge base is much different than the average person you walk up to and ask on the street. If you would have said this morning or yesterday to somebody, how are you going to vote on the judge retention part?
Mhm.
They would, I think there's a lot of people that would have been like, I don't know, what can you explain it to me? And you explain it to them, just the logistics. Are you voting for judges to be kept where they are or not?
Mhm.
They would not know why to vote one way or the other.
Right.
Like, I just don't think that there's enough awareness to say this is a reflection on how people see the rulings that they've made surrounding COVID. I don't think they have a clue. The majority of people.
I mean, it was
Yeah,
mentioned in
yeah, you
some of
might
the
be right.
mailers.
But
Yeah.
it's real. This is really concerning because I'm looking at the map. Um, yeah, a lot of it. Like, look, listen. This is the reason why I told Danny before on and off the podcast that maybe not everyone should vote.
Yeah,
For the for,
100%. 100%. Not everyone should
like
vote.
Right.
because they don't understand what they're doing to their own lives. And if you just don't, if you really think it's just a basketball game every 4 years, or it's just a
Hmm.
football game every other year, then you shouldn't vote because it's not a game. You know, these people impact your lives, in such a big way. You know, and it's really disheartening because I'm linked to Lancaster, and because I'm linked to Perry County now because I live here. I saw two of the same exact campaigns saying vote no. They put out ads on the radio. They've had ads. They had mailers, tons of mailers to vote no for judge retentions, and it's just it, I'm looking at the map for these three retentions, and it's super upsetting. It's super upsetting.
Hmm.
I mean, it's weird that Lancaster County is blue for that.
Well,
I
yeah. Go
I
ahead.
think it's a lot more simple, and it's just people paying attention to stuff at the national level
Hmm.
and not in their more local level. And I'm guilty of that too. Um, but I just
Hmm.
think, like, one of the things that I always wonder about is when you have, you know how there's different things where you can vote for only one, and there's like
Hmm.
multiple Republicans and multiple Democrats.
Yep.
The order of those, in my opinion, probably makes a big difference. If you put Jim at the top and Joe beneath him as two
Hmm.
Republicans or two Democrats,
Hmm.
the first one's probably going to get more than the second one, simply because most people aren't going to take the time, especially at the local level, to understand the difference between Jim and Joe. They're just going to see, well, I'll vote for the first one because he's first on the list. As long as he's a Republican or as long as he's a Democrat.
Yeah, I mean, what we
Yeah.
try to do as committee people, as poll greeters, we have sample ballots at the table, and people walk to the poll, and we're like, "Hey, do you need a sample ballot?" And if they're a Republican and they haven't done their homework, then they're like, "Okay, yeah." They walk over and we like, "This is how we want you to vote." But to your point, like the majority of the people do that, they'll just take the ballot and like, "Okay, you want us to vote this way?" Very few of them actually ask like, "Why do you want us to vote this way?" Which
Right.
which I would appreciate that question from either side. Like, I want them to ask the Democrats the same
Oh
question.
my God.
I've I've heard people say that a basic standard for being allowed essentially to vote is that you should have a blank piece of paper as the ballot, and you have to write the names and you have to spell them properly.
Okay,
How
Roy.
many how many people do you think, what'd you say?
I
You
said, all
just
right,
call him
Roy.
Roy Manet.
Oh,
You sound like Roy, I guess.
how many people do you think would make different voting decisions, whether they vote or not,
Hmm.
and who they vote for, if that was the
Yeah,
case?
you'd see a bunch of crack
Yeah.
addicts with like smudged handwriting on their hand walking into the ballots like,
I
Their
mean,
hands
I'd
are
rather
shaking.
have that. You have to take the time to like go get the name that you want to vote for,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I have some more bad news.
Okay.
So
I'm not gonna be
I'm pretty
surprised
sure
by at,
I'm
at this
pretty
point.
sure for Superior Court Judge Marie Baptista is gonna lose.
Oh man.
It's 56% to 42.
Hmm.
Wow. Are we just gonna
Um,
lose every single race? Wow.
we are gonna lose every single one. Superior Court retention of Alice Dubo was a vote yes, 62% to 37.
Hmm.
Oh my gosh, Matt Wolford lost big,
Huh.
57-43.
Wow.
Hmm.
So I actually didn't vote for Matt Wolford. I voted for Josh Prince, actually. So
Was he on
I
the ballot or just wrote him in?
I wrote him in.
Okay. Yeah.
I wrote him in. Um, yeah. Republicans lost this entire election. It's in this state. It's exactly what I said was going to happen. It's going
Yeah.
blue.
So yeah, I guess a lot of that is because of, you could blame Trump. Like it's, I mean, not blame him, but the anger about Trump. It's kind of like a top down thing, and people are a lot of emotion based voting on their side. Like, yeah, I don't know.
Well, it's also campaign finance as well. Um, in Harrisburg, the party that is in power gets lobbied, um, 2-1. Oh no, 3-1. So
Hmm.
the Democrats get lobbied 3 times harder and get pushback money, like campaign money, donations 3 times more than the Republicans do because they're in power. So that also trickles down to your campaign finance, how much you can push out for mailers, how much you can push out for people who walk, and do door knocking for you. It's not. I don't want to blame just Trump. Um, I don't think it's just his fault. I also think
Yeah,
there's too many of, quite frankly, dumb, lazy Republicans that don't care unless it's the presidential one, like you guys were saying.
yeah, you're probably
So,
right.
dude, we lost all of them. We didn't get a single one.
Hmm.
I'm trying to think. Okay, anything that was state, not a single Republican one I can think of. No,
Hmm.
the commissioners, the Lancaster commissioners, they weren't up for election, were they?
No, not the county commissioners, but the Manheim Township specifically. We had a commissioner race where we there were 3 seats available, and we
Okay.
we swept those like what, how many 3 years ago or whenever it was, right after COVID. But this time, I think we're going to lose all 3 because, yeah, to Adam's point, like people don't realize that those are local positions are instrumental in like things like the lockdown that really affect your life. Like,
It also affects your children's education. I mean,
right?
it's
Not
not
mine,
just
not
I mean, it's
yours.
not
Oh yeah,
just COVID, it's not just trans, it's also just the education in of itself. When you have a school board that thinks that funds and money and grants is going to make your kids smarter, that's a problem. And
mm,
nothing goes well when the people up high think all they need is more funding, and that kid will read at a third grade level when they're in fifth grade or sixth grade or eighth grade. You know,
right.
they always think it's money. I'm trying to pull up some Lancaster election results here, see if there's anything in.
Yeah, depressing. Mm.
I'm really depressed on the retentions.
Yeah, because now we're
I am
stuck with them
very
for like
mad.
what, 10 years or something.
Yes, 10 years. 10 years.
Yeah.
And this is we should probably talk about why it's so important and why anyone that's listening that didn't vote, they should feel terrible about themselves.
Hmm.
These are the people who allowed Wolf to continue to do emergency resolutions to where he had all the power in the state during COVID, especially at the beginning.
Right.
This is the Supreme Court that said, yeah, you can keep doing emergency actions even every 30 days. Just keep going every 30 days.
Mm-hmm.
If I remember right. That's right? Every 30 days he could declare a new state of
Something like that.
emergency.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what would you say to someone pushing back on that and say, we're not in COVID anymore. That was a very extreme time. What's the likelihood that they have a case in front of them that's akin to that in the next 10 years? Like, how are they going to vote on the things that are going to affect us over the next 10 years versus how that one thing,
Well, H1N1
albeit
was
immense,
2010. H1N1 was 2010, and COVID was 2020. So what's going to happen in 2028 or 29? Like about every decade, there's some virus or some pathogen that takes
Mm-hmm.
takes America by storm, and some people die, and then they overreact, and who knows. So like that's
I don't
one.
disagree, but you have to have someone that's on the same page with you in agreement of that premise,
Right. You're asking,
right?
like, how do you convince
So
someone who's
I'm saying
more
if someone's not convinced about that happening in the next 10 years, then
right?
what are the other things that they would have an impact in your everyday life on?
Well, for one is abortion, if we got those guys up for
Yeah.
re-election, we could possibly vote in someone that at least push back abortion to the 6 week. Maybe the state could accept that.
I'm glad you brought that up. I came across this mailer. This is how the other side is. Look, can you read this? They're sending out stuff like "Stop the
The
anti-abortion
billionaires?
billion." Like, what does that even mean? Like,
Is he talking
now
about
you're saying,
Elon? Are they talking about Elon?
I have no idea. Like,
I don't think he'd ever have one. He wants a billion kids, maybe.
Right.
yeah.
I know, but they think he's Hitler, so they think he's
So,
a Hitler
yeah.
youth.
So this is their message. Billionaires are trying to ban abortion in Pennsylvania. That this is one of their arguments to retain the judges.
See,
And
I don't see. I don't know. I don't know. I think the other reason why they need to go for retention is because we live in a lie that America is a democracy, and if you truly believe in a democracy, then the judges should be up for election,
there should be term
regardless
limit.
of how well they are. I think Republicans should go up for election, and they shouldn't just be plain out retained.
Yeah, I agree.
So that's me. I actually hate the way this state runs their superior court and how it's chosen. I think it is retarded. Why do you need to have two different elections? Like, why do you need to have an election to say, okay, should these guys be democratically voted in again? Yes or no? If
Mm-hmm.
no, okay, next year we're gonna have another election. Like,
Hmm.
I don't understand.
An election for an election.
Yeah.
Yes, it doesn't make sense. It's almost like they're giving the Democrats two swings. Strike one, you're out, but you're not out, but maybe strike two. It's silly. Um, but yeah, I don't know what else I would say why they need to be not retained, but it's that, and also like the COVID powers, and also allowing our lieutenant governor to change our election law when only our election laws can be changed by the legislator.
Hmm.
So those are the big two.
Yeah.
For me.
They also had a hand that, well, they approved that the redistricting or gerrymandering, if you want to call it what it
Well,
was.
so that's the
Yeah.
thing they had a hand, but at the end of
Maybe
the
not as
day,
big.
if Republicans keep pushing that, they're going to be like, "Oh, that was an independent panel, that redrew the maps."
Yeah.
So you can't
So
really use that.
that's not as strong an argument. Okay, that's fair. Yeah. But yeah, there's well, and so right. So why did the Democrats vote so vehemently? Yes, it's and I was trying to explain this to my wife, like why the Democrats want to retain them so badly. And I was like, they because the Republicans want they're doing the opposite of what the Republicans want, and they have
Well,
stronger
no,
numbers.
they don't want democracy, Danny. You should have just told her They don't believe in democracy. They handpicked Kamala Harris. Okay.
Right.
They made sure RFK was not going to be running in the Democratic primary. They hate democracy. They hated the idea that these 3 Democrat judges would even possibly have to go up in an election against a Republican.
Yeah.
They say they love democracy, but they hate it.
Are you telling me that you have a problem with them appointing Kamala Harris?
Yes. Yes. I
Oh,
have a
no.
problem with Republicans telling the 5 people that ran against Trump that they shouldn't do that. I was against that. I think that was ridiculous.
Yeah, that's true.
Like
Right.
they're like, don't run against Trump. It's gonna hurt him in the general. I'm like, no, we don't do that. We have debate.
Right.
To your
Point on the
question,
point.
Danny, I feel like what
Yeah.
you just held up, abortion, if
Mhm.
that's their big issue, then we know that so many people care about protecting that right.
Yeah,
Um,
they do. Yeah.
so it's easy to get attention to that issue.
Right.
It's weird. It's weird.
It's stunning.
Yeah. So
So there are a few things that radicalize me more than people who will like just fight tooth and nail for abortion, and yet they'll like in the same breath turn and be like, "You have to cut that little boy's penis off." Like it just it just, it just screams death cult to me. I don't understand.
well,
Like
yeah, or they'll
it just
support some foreign war, like, oh yeah, we're gonna intervene here, or like, or they won't oppose it as vehemently. Yeah, it's
well, it's weird. It's weird. They will fight tooth and nail to let as many Ukrainian boys to die, but they
right.
won't. But like when it comes to the Middle East, they'll vehemently be like anti-war. Like what? Like why is that? Like why? What is the difference
They weren't,
between the
not when
Ukrainian
Obama was
boys?
president. They don't really care about war. That's the
Oh,
thing.
that's
It's
true.
only if a Republican president is doing it.
That's true. That's true. We
Yeah.
should.
I mean,
That's kind of my
I think
point.
they see them as being the same way. They're trying to support the victims.
Right.
They see aggressors that they want to stand up against.
Yeah, that's a good way to.
Whether
Yeah.
or not that's the right way to see it, it doesn't really matter. That's the way that they see it, and they want to stand up against the bully, right?
Right.
And then ultimately it's whatever Trump does, they see him as the ultimate bully. So if he
Right.
wants to do something, they're just going to knee jerk against that.
Oh, absolutely, 100%. Yeah. It's
Yeah,
like
that's true.
how dare you try to negotiate peace between Ukraine and Russia?
I mean, I
Yeah.
have think that if Trump became a radical abortionist, they would be like, nope, we got to end abortion.
You might be right. He should speak out. Yeah.
Uh, um, I wanted to ask Adam, what are your thoughts on Trump's first 9 months? Like, are you are you as like disappointed as Danny and I are, or are you just like this is about what I expected?
I would probably say it's about what I expected. He and that doesn't necessarily mean I agree or disagree with the things that he's done. As far as just met or exceeded or not met expectations, I would say he's probably right there where I would have expected. Um, he talked about ending the Russia Ukraine war like on what day one, and I think he even
Yeah,
said before he got in office.
yeah,
Um, he People just they think that he's extremely serious about certain things, that he talks in such hyperbole, and it
Yeah.
kind of baffles me that people haven't caught on to that yet.
Right.
When he says he's going to do something overnight, you need to filter that. He's not going to do things overnight. He's not going to do things as bigly as he says he is.
Right.
He's a marketer. He's a sales guy. He wants to get people. hyped up, so to speak, and on board with him, so that then he can do what he actually can do, not what he says he can do.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Like I
then he
said
takes credit
earlier.
for things that he didn't do, that he may have had a hand in, but everything is the biggest, the best, the fastest, the shiniest. Everything's over the top with him, and he'll take credit for things if he had the slightest way that he can tie himself into it. He's extremely egotistical.
Yeah.
I I, I don't love Trump, right? It's the lesser of two evils. So
Right. Right.
Could you imagine being married to Trump, being Melania, and like, I'm the best guy in bed. could you could you could you imagine
I mean,
being married to that?
he's always been that way though. So like, she married him. She knew who he was. It's not like the whole world didn't know who he was before he came down that escalator.
I make the best
Yeah.
babies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're totally right. You're totally right, though. I I think the most frustrating thing that Trump has done is that it's hard for me to forgive him for is DOGE and not using the mandate that the people gave him to twist every single Republican congressman and senator's arm to doing what he wanted them to do. Um, I'm very, very frustrated that they just signed the CR in March, and then they said it was going to come up again in the fall, and we would fix it then. The continuing resolution. Um,
Hmm.
I'm very frustrated that Trump, as soon as he got elected, wasn't like, listen to me, Republicans. I just won. And I won because I ran on this, and this. And you all are going to do this, and this, or you will not be reelected. I wish he would have done that. I wish he would have twisted every single arm till it almost broke. And the Republicans would have got something done within the first 100 days within the legislature, within the House and the Senate, and then Trump signing into law.
But
But he didn't do any of that.
but what do you think he could have done though? Like, I feel
Oh, it's
like
very
when he
simple.
was
He could have passed. He could have passed everything in the big beautiful bill as a line item and made it 100 times stronger than what it was.
he could have.
Hmm.
No, he could have twisted all their arms into doing
What
it.
I'm asking is, how could he have twisted their arms? I feel
Okay,
like
here. Okay,
Washington's
listen.
so complicated.
If you are the most important man in the world, and you are the president of the United States, and you just won seven swing states, and you won the popular vote for the first time since 2000, you're telling me that you couldn't apply political pressure to Republican House of Representatives and Republican senators to get stuff passed that you ran on?
So
Hmm.
why would he have gone through all the Doge stuff if he didn't think that that was going to happen?
So Doge was just so Elon has talked about this, Vivek has talked about this. Doge has been a failure because Trump is impatient. Vivek Ramaswamy came in with a vision that we will do this slowly and methodically and within the Constitution. Okay, meaning it wasn't going to be done with executive orders, right? This was going to be legislative power and also with the Department of the internal department in the legislature that checks out each department's efficiencies. I can't remember what it's called. It's basically the CEO of the
Hmm.
legislator of the government. That reports to the president. Vivek was saying that's how you would shrink government, right?
Hmm.
Elon came in and with all of his millions, billions, and Elon said, we don't need to do it that way. We could do this through executive order, and it'll be headline after headline after headline of us winning, winning, winning. And then the media people will take it and push it out as an illusion of us winning, and then eventually we'll win. And it didn't happen. And the only Doge things that got codified into law was $9 billion. So Doge saved America $9 billion. And the goal of Doge was to save us around 1.5 trillion.
Are you saying that you think that doing it, Vivek's? Thank you for saying his name properly. By the way,
I
everyone still
donated
says
money
that
to his
wrong.
campaign. I donated money to his campaign. He was my first choice. So
Yeah.
I love Vivek.
Um, but if things would have been done his way, do you think that they would have been codified into law?
Yes, because the way Vivek was going to do it, it wasn't actually going to need any votes. There is a department inside the executive branch, and I wish I can't remember the name of it, but they literally, their job is to basically look at the executive branch and see if there are inefficiencies, which like redundant agencies in the executive branch, such as the U.S. Marshals and the FBI. So you have the U.S. Marshals and then you have the FBI. Vivek said what we need to do is we need to shut down the FBI, tear it down, and then let the good agents from the FBI join the U.S. Marshals or join the Secret Service. And then you would get rid of that entire apparatus. And then he also said with the Department of Education, you would get rid of the Department of Education once all the funds went out, because each state has their own Department of Education. It's a redundancy agency as well. So the president can cut up and get rid of any agency that's redundant, and there's a lot of them. He's gonna fact check me, Danny.
No, I'm trying to. Are you looking for the department that Doge came from?
It's not that. Well, I thought Doge was just
It
created.
No. Doge.
Okay, what's its old
It was the
name? What's
United States Digital Service.
digital service?
That's what I'm finding because Doge was everyone thought that it was a new thing, but what happened was it was an existing piece of government that essentially got converted into Doge.
Right, right, yeah, and
The
that's
media
probably
was
what Vivek
talking
was
as if it's this new thing, and it wasn't.
That's probably what Vivek was talking about. I just can't remember what the old official office was called. It was like the United
Executive
States
Office of the
Office
President,
of what's that?
Executive Office of the President.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. 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 Vivek was gonna basically go with that and go at it slowly piece by piece. But then
Yeah.
they had a change of heart, and Elon donated a whole lot more to the Republican cause than Vivek did. And they
Yeah.
just pushed
Yeah.
Vivek out.
I was
And
I was
Right.
right I was right on the US Digital Service. On January 20th, 2025, President Donald Trump issued an executive order titled Establishing and Implementing the President's Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, which reorganized an entity in the Executive Office of the President, the U.S. Digital Service, as the U.S. DOGE Service, using
uh-oh.
the same acronym as its predecessor, USDS. Because it's been a while since all that happened. Doge has
Right.
been out of the news for a while. But
Right.
yeah, that was bothering me every time that was talked about, as if like he just created this Doge out of thin air, and it
Right.
Right.
wasn't. He
Right. And it
repackaged.
was
Go ahead.
and it was originally supposed to be Vivek and Ron Paul. And then Vivek stupidly invited Elon. And then like it was supposed to be Vivek and
Mm,
Elon. And then Vivek was gone. And I was very sad.
Yeah.
I was-
yeah.
I was-
That would have probably worked
because
better.
because I think Vivek would have been a better ear into Trump's a better would be better along Trump's side than Elon would have been. And
Yeah, I agree.
it was frustrating. It was really frustrating when that all happened, because I was just like, well, I don't know what Doge is gonna be then. if it's just
But
going to
you
be
still,
executive orders.
but you still think that Trump could have done more to make those changes permanent?
Yes, he could have, and I think he decided to go the easy way, in the way that the news could whip up enthusiasm for his first 100 days rather than actually doing the real work.
Yeah. I guess the tough thing about stuff like this is we'll never know, because we can speculate about the alternative route being one that would have given us the outcome that we would have wanted. But
Mhm.
because it didn't happen, we'll never know. Like it could have just,
Well,
because it could have then flown under the radar, it may not have been as effective. Who knows?
yeah, but
But
we'll also know that
Hmm.
all the work that people did to get Trump elected this time is going to mean nothing if we just pass a 2022 CR that Nancy Pelosi and Joe Biden signed into law in 2022.
yeah,
Like all
Yeah.
this has been for nothing if they do what they're probably going to do right before Christmas. Um, and it's heartbreaking to me, because I had a lot of enthusiasm that we
Hmm.
might actually be able to turn this country around. And
Right.
I'm telling you, if they sign that Biden CR from 3 years ago, there's no difference in the two parties.
yeah. I don't know that people really make change until they feel pain. And I think what going back to what we were talking about earlier with COVID, we
Hmm.
saw a reaction to COVID. Why? Because people
Yes.
felt the pain. Um,
Yeah.
if now it seems like things are just kind of settling back to the way they were,
Hmm.
and it's going to take things getting much more extreme until people really feel it in order to make some lasting change.
Well,
Yeah.
that's the problem, though. We're starting to feel pain. You know, Charlie got murdered. Um, People are fighting ICE agents and National Guard troops in big cities. Um, a communist just won mayor of New York City. Like, what more? Like, how much more pain are regular people gonna have to feel before they feel like we need a revolution?
Personally, I feel like we're at the precipice right now. A lot of things just feel like it's a house of cards ready to collapse.
It is. It is. We're $38 trillion in debt now. Isn't that exciting?
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
I think that when we talk about numbers that big, that goes in one ear, not the other for the average person. It doesn't, because that doesn't affect their everyday life,
Right.
right?
That's the big
Yeah.
denominator, how much it affects their everyday life. Right.
And I feel like those things, the finance stuff is starting to affect people's everyday life. I'm seeing a lot of stuff about um, health insurance premiums just skyrocketing
Hmm.
and all this sort of stuff. When life becomes actually unaffordable and it's not just eggs that are expensive, um,
Hmm.
when that's unaffordable, people are gonna start to, I don't know, wake up.
Well, that's what's really interesting about the SNAP being done or not being renewed. I want to see what 42 million hungry people look like, because
It's not
I
42
don't think
million.
I know. I know. I know. Because I'm like, where are they? Is anything gonna happen? Like, nothing's happened.
But even if it's a million, it's it, it's still a lot. The ramifications of it are going to be substantial if this continues.
Hmm.
Right. Oh yeah, absolutely. And what's annoying is that we've always had the answer for starvation, and it was always churches. It was always, communities and churches helping the needy. And then somehow, some way, all of a sudden, where people just started using the government for food stamps when they're in a tough pinch. Like, I don't even know when that started, but
I don't
whenever
know.
that started, that should have been like a dark day in churches. Like,
Yeah, those
churches
things
should have been
don't
like,
happen overnight
what
though.
did we do wrong?
Right.
those things don't happen overnight. And the thing that's so terrible about this SNAP stuff right now is that because it was a long, slow process, the solution, you're right, is churches. But churches are not prepared to meet that need now because
Right.
everyone has looked to government, from individuals to churches. They've offloaded that responsibility, that biblical duty, to
Mhm.
government. And when the government is the one that people look to, the churches say, oh, we don't, I mean, there's not really a particular need that we see in our community for a food pantry. There's
Mhm.
not there's not a particular need for counseling people on how to do their finances better, how to
Mm.
gain more skills for more employment, how to start a business. There's not the felt need of those things until now, where a switch flips and there's 42 million people that are like, I mean, I guess I'm not getting money for food this month. And then we're not prepared to handle that.
I have a great idea. We'll go into every single Catholic church and take all their gold stuff.
Oh, sure. Blame the Catholic Church again.
We'll do like Robin Hood 2.0, American style.
Oh man.
It wouldn't be a podcast if I don't make fun of Danny for being a Catholic. So it's not.
That's
It's just
right.
something I do here and there. I love him. He's
Hey,
keeping up the good faith. He's like
we're the
forcing his
original
son to go
church.
to mass and everything. I think it's great.
That's right. Yeah.
Pulling him by his ear.
Iron Fist. That's right. We need some tradition. Yeah.
So how long do you think this
I'm
snap
still
stuff is
soul
going to
searching on
stay?
the whole Orthodox thing, Danny. I don't know. I'm still
Oh yeah.
soul searching on it.
Yeah. That's okay. What was your question, Adam? How long did?
How long do you guys think this stuff is going to take to get sorted out with Snap?
I hope never.
I mean, aren't they gonna at some point they'll shut the government shutdown's gonna end and they'll go back to the status quo with Snap? I don't know.
So there have been multiple government shutdowns, and I've talked to people that rely on government for their paycheck,
Mm-hmm.
and the answer that I've gotten from people is it doesn't matter that it's going to get sorted out. What matters is that people are going to hurt in the meantime. If you're in the
Yeah.
military, you're going to get back pay, right? But what do you
Mm-hmm.
do to pay your bills before you get that back pay? So many people are living literally paycheck to paycheck, zero savings, in
Yeah.
other kinds of debt that, I mean, I was seeing some stuff on TikTok about um I forget what it was. Banks banks not having sufficient liquidity right now and
Wow.
selling, essentially turning over assets to gain liquidity. And why is that? Because people are they're either preparing or they're feeling that people aren't paying their debts back to the banks right now.
Oh yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
This October was the highest repo month ever recorded in American
and it
history.
yeah, and it never that's never an issue
Right.
Wow.
Right.
until now. And that you look at the graph, I was seeing multiple people posting the graph of that over the course of years, and it was just like nothing, 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 spike right now.
Wow.
Well, I think our government accounts for like 37% of our economy. And this is supposed to be a free market economy, and our government accounts for 37% of it. We
That's wild.
employ 12 million Americans. The American taxpayers pay for 12 million American salaries.
Wow.
Insane.
That is
12
insane.
million. That's not even counting the freelance contractors. That doesn't count those people.
It's
Like,
direct
so how many
employees.
more millions are we paying for coding, for military, for like people who work at the Fed, people who work like in other countries, like undercover as well? Like we could be the American taxpayer could be responsible for 15 to 20 million people's salaries a year.
Wow.
It's huge. It's huge. That's absolutely, it's absolutely crazy to even think of those numbers. And they said food stamps last year was like 125 billion, I think. Wasn't that right? Was that the numbers? Was it 125
I
billion?
forget.
Adam's
I
fact
know it was
checking.
over 100.
I think it's a lot more than that.
Oh gosh, I hope not.
Yeah.
I thought they were saying Walmart. They were saying Walmart is gonna have its worst month ever. I'm
Well,
sorry. We Americans are subsidizing Walmart, and it's one of the biggest corporations in the world. That's insane.
yeah. Well, this has been a gloom and doom episode. We should probably wrap up soon, but yeah. Too bad there's
Yeah.
not a lot of good news.
I have great news, guys. You can come out and move to Perry County, except for you, Adam. And you can just start over and leave the world behind.
We'll do our
Adam, you're
parallel
welcome.
economy.
Okay, just move to like Ickesburg or something. Live in Ickesburg or Ikesburg. I call it Ickesburg because it's icky, but move to Ikesburg. They'll be accepting of that lifestyle for sure.
Thanks. Clip that part, and that's gonna sound real weird.
What? Isn't it
Yeah,
kind
I
of a
don't even know what you
lifestyle
meant.
though? Isn't it?
I don't know.
It's kind of a
You
lifestyle.
lost us, Josh. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, okay.
Now you're just riffing.
I might be rambling when I start to run out of things to say.
Yeah. Well, all right. I mean, I hope everyone out there listening, you wake up tomorrow and look at the results. Just be prepared for, blue wave Pennsylvania, and that's probably a foreshadowing of the governor race next year. I don't know. Shapiro's
We
kind of
didn't
a
even talk
powerhouse.
about Gertie,
About what?
Who?
about Stacey Gertie.
Garrity? Yeah, different episode.
Yeah. Yeah. Adam, thanks for coming on, dude. You're super
No
cool.
problem.
Yeah,
super
yeah.
It was
cool.
Thank
fun.
you.
Thanks for having me.
We
We need to
appreciate your
have him
input.
on again because he's very good. He's very good at like
Absolutely.
explaining his points and very calm talking, soothing.
Yeah. You have a good ASMR voice.
I was just gonna say, is it your first ASMR episode?
It could be. We'll probably get more listeners if we brand this as an ASMR episode.
Gotta whisper all your talking points.
Exactly.
I think everybody should join the Lancaster theonomy. FutureChrisTheDuck.com.
I'm only half joking about this idea. I like it. I do use ASMR sometime to go to sleep.
No, you don't.
I'm an avid ASMR follower. Yes.
Just have your wife like whisper in your ear while you're falling asleep.
She's asleep way before I am.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
You're the best basketball coach there is.
All right. Yeah. All right.
Maybe in your dreams.
Yeah. Thanks everyone for listening.
If you would like to be a guest on Lanc Cast or contact us for any reason, send an email to lanccastamericafirst@gmail.com. That's Lancast with 2 C's, americafirst@gmail.com. Thank you.